Hi everybody, hope everybody's having a good day. I'm Elementalist and today I have a bit of news that pertains to me refreshing myself and renewing myself. Because over the past couple of weeks I've been kind of slowly on this downward decline, and I wanted to speak about that for a little bit because, I don't know, it's a little bit more important that I share my story. Maybe it's not, I don't know. I just want to do it so y'all can get an idea of what's going through in my head. So, um, over the past couple of weeks, I've been on kind of a downward decline because of the fact that I feel like I'm trapped in a zone and I can't do anything to make it better. But, um, what kind of remedied this was yesterday, I felt like the end of that zone. Like, I've sulked long enough, you know? I just have to accept the fact that wherever I'm at, and have fun. Excuse me. I'm also kind of re-entering my sickness phase, but it's all right. Wherever I'm at, have fun, and be positive, be outgoing, be energetic. Talk about plays like they mean something, because at the end of the day, when you're left alone or when you're left without anything else, right? At the core of your personality, you peel away everything, and what do you have left? What I have left is inertly, I'm still a gamer, no matter what, first and foremost, because of the fact that this is my passion and it's what I love doing. My skill sets make me a little bit less of a gamer, more of an analytic gamer, but nonetheless a gamer that could potentially shed some light on an otherwise a gamer that potentially shed some light on an otherwise repetitive topic. And I noticed this a lot with, when I watch streams or when I watch other players play. They have different tendencies that each other gamer has. It's very fascinating to watch. And I'm a gamer that has the same tendencies no matter what. And even though my skills mechanically improved for a short time and I could play certain heroes, I learned certain heroes at a different time rate and stuff like that, especially when it comes to competitive games. I find that because I am limited in my own sphere of decision making processes, that's just how I am. And there's no shame in being an average gamer trying to rank up in the ranks, because that's a journey that certain people similar to myself, or maybe different people in similar positions, that are taking. Now, the reason why it's important to share the stories is once we find a community base with it, I guess for me, myself, it's important for me to not feel so alone when I'm trying to do this. On the other hand, I feel like a lot of the times when I'm preaching like positive energy, or I don't want to say preaching because I really, really hate it, but how about perpetuating the notion of positive energy? It feels like I'm kind of alone in that aspect because a lot of the people around me, like, here's the thing. Here's how messed up my life is, or how I view it as, right? Whenever I find somebody positive in my game, I want to do my best and help that person win. However, when I know that a person is already positive, though, two things could happen. One, I'm feeding, so I can't befriend the person on great terms. I'm gonna be the one that leaves a sour taste in his mouth or her mouth, and I'm gonna try to continue to try to be their friend, and the relationship turns out to be, oh, that guy did so horrible in the match, but I guess I'll be nice and befriend him. I hate those simulacra, or without meaning relationships, or without truth, without substance relationship, just because of the fact that if I befriend someone, I really want to befriend someone because of their personality, their niceness, or whatever. If, in fact, that I do feed and I'm befriending them, it feels like the relationship is already built on false pretenses, which means that I feel like, oh, look at me befriending him. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, he's just a person that will eventually not make it through, and I want to be nice, so here, do that. You know, I don't want to have that thought because initially, because of what's happened in my life, it makes me feel like inadequate for one. I've started off like at a very young age as a high scoring, like top performing school student. I was always in the noticeable group until after, I don't know when, like a little bit after college, I started falling down, 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 and even like the circle in my friends, they started viewing me differently. Like, oh, what happened to him? How about can't keep a steady job? Um, oh, overweight. All these negative comments started pouring in, and I said, "Wait, what about the?" I always had those comments when I was going through school, but I had school to make up for them because I actually performed really well in it. But now, what do I have left? Because after school, there's actually nothing left for me to do. So I went out, I got a couple of jobs, but because I've learned so much about how people work socially and nodes of oppression, it actually made me start hating myself for being in a situation that I perpetuated the oppression in. Like, for example, for me to become like a supervisor or a manager of a store, I had to actually play the game. And a lot of times when you play the game, you have to talk smack about people. You have to in bad companies. Well, I don't want to even say in bad companies, but you have to overperform in order for you to kind of get picked. Like, you're in a school of fish and you're like, pick me, pick me. But it's not your merit that really picks you. It's like, if you got to play the game. There's a lot of politics involved. I'm the person that sees the game, but I don't like to take part in it because even though that's part of, people say that's part of growing up, you just have to grow stone skin and get through it. I've been through so many situations that was the case, that I feel like if I perpetuated any institution that had the ideals and that knowledge, that I would be someone that was unable to change the scope of the way things worked. And if I was but people will say, oh, you gotta speak the language before you decide to influence other people, right? That's not something that I can do per se, due to the fact that, like, yeah, I do speak the language and I do know the basics of it, but if I ascend in something that can be oppressive, you're just like being there. A lot of people will say, oh, there's no shame in being two-faced, you gotta sustain yourself and stuff like that. But I'm somebody who's like, I don't know, my path in life has just led me to a lot of difficult hardships, and when I face them, I want to face them as real and true as possible. That may mean not being able to sustain myself or even my family for a little bit, because there are just certain injustices that I don't stand for, and I feel like if I do play along with the game, it makes me not as adequate to speak on it as I can. So what do I have? I take everything that I have left, try to sustain myself for how many ever months, and really work on a project that I care about, because while the gaming industry is a booming industry, and how you can just do you in gaming, it's just so much better because you're able to be yourself, talk about your ideas and share your stories with other people in a way that is more genuine, that is true to yourself. So even though there are times that I break out and I just let loose in the game, like I let the players have it, like they have to know that they're committing an injustice, I'm like, well, I feel bad afterwards because you don't show people how to be better by flaming them. Putting anybody in a pit of fire would only perpetuate their hatred in order to prove you wrong. And I'm really somebody who needs a lot of support to build something up, So rather than build up with hatred, I'd like to build up with positive energy and ride those positive vibes wherever it would take me. So that's a little bit of the insight on my story and how a lot of the times I felt like when I was feeling down, it was a culmination of stuff. It's not only because I'm losing games, it's because something that I take so seriously is not producing results. It's kind of like running your face into a brick wall. You just hope that one day your face will be hard enough to shatter it. So that's where I'm coming from. I hope you folks all enjoyed this little vlog update. I'm gonna try to be more outspoken and happy in my live stream too. So that is coming, and I'm excited. A couple of the things that I also am excited for is I'm planning to launch some kind of donations event in order to get myself a better streaming place, in order to get myself a backdrop so you don't have to look at these weird books for a while. But the Sriracha Panda is pretty cool. I mean, come on. Like, take a look. It's right there? Right there? Yeah, right there. Sriracha Panda is really awesome. And yeah, I just can't wait. New webcam, new system. I want to make this a full-blown streaming, great community, build something from scratch, zero. And I mean, I thank everybody that follows me now because it's actually great to have a small following. I've been doing this for about 2-3 months now, and it's building, and I actually really enjoy the nice people that come in, sit, or even the competitive people that come in and sit and try to work at themselves and be better at the game. I don't judge, and I don't like shoo anybody away, but I will say that I gravitate more towards nice people because they're able to be more open to what I have to say, and there'll be ways to change how they play the game, and etc., and so on and so forth. And I'm really trying to do that with myself as well. I do realize that like the skill level of players generally tend to rise after a couple of years. So this game has been out for so many years, and there should be a lot of skill level caps already because there's tons of people playing it, and it's just one more. I'm just gonna be one more feather in the pile, or I'm just gonna be one more needle in the haystack to produce content for these games and stuff like that. Because why not? If people can make a living reviewing, doing all this other stuff, why can't I? That's why I'm also trying to get better as I speak. I'm building my craft. So maybe one day I'll be able to share this grand spectrum of content for people. And Plan B is always Plan B. It's around the corner somewhere. But sometimes it's not good to have a Plan B, especially if you're so heavily invested in this. I mean, I don't stream 8 hours a day, but I'm writing, I'm producing type of content and stuff like that. I'm slowly pushing everything out there. This planning, this organizing is kind of a lot for one or two people to do. So, but the thing is, I actually have to get good enough before I have a team. So continue to work on myself until I have some type of momentum going. And then great stuff will really fly and it will really happen. So many hopes and dreams plastered on a wall, waiting for one day to have the opportunity to shove everything skyward, and it'll be a great city. Until next time, keep on being positive and awesome, folks. I'm Elementalist signing out. Thank you very much for sharing this small bit of time with me.